Hey there, Agent. It's Game Changer here, mate. So we said we'd have a little look at your base. I've left the Alliance to do it because obviously I'm the same team as you, and it means that I can't look at you like an enemy. So that's what I was meaning. But don't worry, I'll get back in. This is that hole I was telling you about. Now, if I want to attack you here, you can appreciate that I'm right. As soon as I use these M7 to 270s or Zeus or anything along that sort of line, I'm going to be straight at your base, get rid of your barracks straight away, and then I'm going to be in at you. So you need to adjust the spacings to get rid of these spawn zones. Everywhere else is really, really good, perfect sort of spawn. Maybe it's just small adjustment in that corner there. But yeah, it looks like these buildings here maybe a little bit fraction too close together. So you can maybe have a little look at that, and I'd also maybe have a look at that area there as well. But oh, very nice. I like that. Nice crafty mine, because I'd be quite tempted to start from there. So absolutely perfect mine position. Well done. I would suggest though having the mine on this side a little bit further out, same as these one as well. Most of my weaponry's got a bit of a longer range, so I could be here hitting your base without really the mine troubling us. I'd be kind of having to think where people are going to spawn from. Probably going to spawn from this sort of area here. At the moment they're going to spawn from that area, so you know, maybe tweak your mine position so that you kind of think where they're going to spawn from is where you're going to be. Just another observation as well, if you look at that there, actually no, that house is covering. I thought you might be vulnerable from the other side of this rock, but no, that's okay. So the thing I would look at doing is, for me, helicopters don't need to be inside the walls, because helicopters fly over the walls anyway. And if you've got Zeus or a Humvee or snipers or whatever you've got in your attack, they pretty much take the helicopters out. So that helicopters to me don't do a great deal. So I'd have the helicopters outside the wall, and I'd make your walls much smaller. If you can make your walls smaller, what ends up happening is everything's protecting everything. So, I mean, you've got a degree of that anyway. You're doing quite well in that sense. That the fact that you've got, if I attack this machine gun here, I'm going to get hit by that machine gun, and so on and so forth. So that's excellent. So keep that up. I'd maybe though have a little look at this newer turret as well, the Peacemaker. That's absolutely excellent. And I'd also make sure you've got some sort of flak in there as well. You've got no flak per se, and flak obviously is going to be far better against air attack. You're probably kind of covering that to a degree with machine guns, but I would certainly be looking at getting at least one flak in there as well, just to be on the safe side. Level 5 is excellent, but at level 39 you might be. Can you get level 6 machine guns now? If you can, certainly have a little look at that, get that sorted out. And other than that, it's pretty good. I'll show you if I go into mine in a quick second, just to give you other ways of looking at bases. And when I say the smaller base method, I'll show you what that might look like. Okay, so this is my current setup at the moment. I mean, I'm obviously higher grade than yourself in terms of level, so I can now obviously employ the big turret. I've also got in the kind of behind the smoke a little bit. I've got in the Peacemaker. The Peacemaker, if you look at the radius on that, absolutely superb. It's like a higher powered mortar, and it fires quicker, especially because I've got it transformed up singly as well. Air support, I'm aiming for at least 2 flak, as well as my machine guns, as well as my howitzers, as well as a bit of salvo in there, as well as and obviously this here, hits you hard, so certainly look to get that in the future. But the smaller base footprint, so I've got the helicopter outside it, as you can see. Like you've got, if anything spawns and it stays inside the walls, but you tend to find, because I've gone for a much smaller footprint, that everything is literally covering everything. If you attack one side of the base, you're going to get hit by the other side of the base. Crafty mine like yourself, just tucked away as well. I'm also kind of thinking mines further out, so that I suspect that people want to come in this way, maybe try and take out the heavy gun. So I'm protecting that either side of machine guns, and while they're attacking that, then they're going to get hit by this as well. So I'm always thinking about how they're going to be hit by my attack. Have a look at what you've got inside your defenders as well. Really important you get that right. At the moment I've got lots of mortarmen. If you've got Zeus, Zeus comes out after 7 seconds, which is also good air support as well. And then I've got like plenty of tanks in there because that really slows them up if they get a chance to go get out. And defenders, of course, I'm aiming for, as I said, I've probably got one sniper coming out at 8 seconds. Again, that's quite good for air support. But then obviously I've got my my mortarmen, which is like having another turret inside there as well, especially because they're going to be stuck inside these walls, not escaping until you get close up, and then everything's got to hit you all at once, which is kind of my my gameplay really. So yeah, just a different way of working, smaller footprint, slightly better spacing, I guess. I mean, I've got a few more buildings, but yeah. Oh Christ, I don't want to be moving that. You know, having a smooch around or get somebody else to have a look at your base and just make sure that there's no sort of gaps, because you've noticed when I've done that first snapshot there, you've got a big hole that you can look to get fixed. Other than that, mate, looks pretty good. All right, take care.